Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me. My name is Larry Boop. I am the artist of poop. I studied art in France, where I was a homeless man, and all of my homeless man buddies would poop under a bridge, and it inspired me. So now I'm here. I'm here with the Bill Gates Foundation for the Blind. I'd like to give a shout out to Bill Gates for sending you 4 blind people here to learn how to paint feces. A lot of people don't understand how many happy accidents can happen in painting. For instance, Lane pooped his pants, which is great to use for authenticity. Thank you, Lane. I was going to reach in there and go for it. Mm-mm. Have you gone vegan? So we're going to get started. I like to start by painting sort of the big, bulky area, the shape of it. Thank you, Lane. So you're going to want to get a nice... You're going to want to get an oval out of it. Don't be afraid to get all the bumps and lumps in there. You're really going to want to go for the bumps and lumps because remember, our intestines are bumpy and lumpy. I like to think of poop as sort of a reminder of what our insides look like. It's kind of like a blast to the past. The night before, you eat your meats and your veggies, and the morning of, you have a cup of coffee and a Crunchwrap Supreme, and you just blow the shit out of your butthole. Sometimes I like to have special thoughts about poop. You know? One thing I find interesting about pooping is I think God got it wrong. Because men, if you remember, have a penis on the front for pee. And I think it would make more sense to have a penis on the back for pooping. I call it a poonis. Thank you, Wayne. So you're going to want to go for depth here. Because if you remember, poops have depth. Poops are very deep. Sometimes I like to think of them as their own special kind of sentient being, where I talk to it. I remember one morning I said, "Don't you look at me like that! Don't you look at me like that, you poop! You came out of me!" And then I flushed it down. Lane is a very special guy because he spent all morning crapping his pants for me to just get the shit out of. And I like to go for authenticity. So you're really going to paint that. Once we got that first coat, the first layer down, you're going to want to add some other colors to it. Like you had a full 3-course meal the night before. Because remember, poops are Now we're not gonna paint any background here. Because if you remember, the background is the toilet bowl. And toilet bowls are what? Our favorite color. I'm going to add a little bit of yellow in here. And some people think yellow is for corn. But I don't think so, because if you remember, a poop always comes with a pee. But a pee only sometimes comes with a poop. It takes a very talented man to poop when he's peeing. Sometimes I like to stand up after I take a poop and see if I can cut it in half with my urine. I have a very powerful stream. I went to a doctor once and he said I pee at a rate of 300 miles an hour. You guys ever forget to flush? I think it's because poops come out of us and we're afraid to say goodbye to them. I especially have a hard time saying goodbye to my poops. I was sorry, I was so caught up in talking about my bowel movements, I forgot to paint this one. I want to make it kind of green, almost like you had mushy peas for this one. In America, we have a saying, if it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down. China says, only flush it if it's a woman. Good. I think I'm going to mix the yellow and this brown here, and we're going to try to create some nice sheens over on the side, get some lighting in there. There we go. Really make sure. You ever do that? You ever think about pooping in tandem with someone? There's a technique in sex where you give someone else a hand job, they give you one. Well, I like to apply that technique to shitting. You grab someone else's butthole, they grab yours. And perfect. Now I know you guys can't see, but I created a three hump turd. These originated in the Sahara Desert, and they have 3 humps because they store a lot of water.
Now, there's many, when you're approaching a scene like this, there's so many types of pizza, so many types of cheese, pepperoni, 4 cheese, 5 cheese, then there's 3 cheese.
There's provolone.
I don't know how to make a pizza. I don't know how to make a fucking pizza. My parents won't pay for college. I'm trying to fucking make some money. I really wanted to and scene. Wow. Sanford Meisner said,
If you are in the wrong in your acting, that's bad for you.
I'm sorry I fucked your wife.
You don't have
Fucking gross fucking shit that happened.
Yeah.
I don't want to get into any of that shit. Absolutely. If we talk about it, I might just yak on the floor.
Yeah.
Okay? Scene. Aww. You okay?
I'm going to go for my smaller brush now. And we're going to paint some nice deep lines to get the shadows just right in the poop. I want to paint them on the bottom here. There we go. Sort of like a happy little poop stroke. Happy little poop stroke. There we go. Yeah. Cool. And you're going to want to go for all of the little crevices. I call these the folds. What are the folds? They're kind of a mysterious place in the poop because you don't really know what's in them. That's why I encourage every single one of you to go home tonight and just sort of break apart your bowel movement. Break it apart, sift through it, see if there's a toy in there. One time I found One time I found a little miniature Hamburglar in it. I just had no idea they put that in my Big Mac. Create some lines on that shit. Oh, yeah. Anybody get aroused when they're pooping? Sometimes it's nice to poop with a boner. Sometimes when I'm pooping, I measure it, and then I measure my penis right after, just to make sure that it knows who's boss around here. I always thought it was strange when people say, "You look like shit." If anything, shit looks like me. I call those self-portraits. Okay, we're just gonna get some little other smaller floating turds in there. That happens when there's a lot of gas in it. You ever ingest helium and you find out that there's a lot of gas in your poop, like you got in your poop? These are our little food babies here. Perfect. Don't be afraid to really get in there with the color. Some people are afraid of it. What do you call the morning after a Japanese guy eats Taco Bell? Hiroshita. I get some nice streaks in there. Nice little strokes. Strokes of brown. Little happy strokes of brown. There we go. Sort of like a maze, like a little poopy maze that you kind of just wandered into. You're like, how the hell did I get here? You had a little bit too much beer last night. A little bit too much beer, too many peanuts. And now you got a nice little healthy bowel movement. And we're painting it, because that's what we do. We paint feces. Perfect. Okay. Anyone accidentally take a dump on their father on his birthday? I shouldn't have been jumping up and down so much without any pants on. What do you call it when Hitler has a painful dump? Auschwitz! It's looking to be a nice little poop. It's okay to get nice and close when you mix the paints. So we finished mixing that. And don't forget to name your bowel movements too, because that makes them a little bit more personal to us. Sometimes I like to name my poops after who I think they look like. Like this one's Charles Barkley. Most of the time I'm pooping a Lizzo or an Oprah. Sometimes I get a Tiger Woods and I'm really proud of myself. I think we are going to put a little bit of corn in this one. Remember, there's no mistakes in painting. There's only happy accidents. Thank you, Wayne. Sometimes you can pee with your fingers, and that's fine. When you do it with your finger, it's just so you're adding a little personal touch to it. You'd think poop is kind of soft and tender when you touch it with your hands. It's actually quite firm. It's okay not to wipe. Sometimes I like to wipe with my hand and eat immediately after, just to add a little bit of extra spice from last night. Gonna want to get some greens in there, like if we had spinach or something. Spinach or kale, maybe. There we go. Maybe the kale's sort of poking out at the end, like you didn't digest kale. Now you're kind of concerned, like why didn't my intestines digest this kale? It's a leaf.
Is it gonna grow? I don't know.
Is it gonna grow? We don't know. That's okay though. Sometimes I swallow a watermelon seed to see if I poop out a watermelon. Well done, Alex. I really appreciate you getting into the spirit of things. And I think you should all be more like him. The funniest thing happened. Sometimes it's, I think a lot of people don't realize that pooping is an art form of itself. You can do many things with your poops. One nice thing to try is shaving your poops right into the toilet and then taking a poop immediately after. I did that the other day and it looked like Mr. T. There we go. Now I'm going to mix some brown, a little bit of mustard. I'm going to mix a couple of colors here. Mustard yellow. There we go. And then we're going to paint a nice banana stem right here at the top of our poop. Sort of like, kind of create a mystery for a lot of people who are going to look at this. They're going to say, did he eat a whole banana? It's possible. Maybe I was hungry. Maybe I was drunk. Or maybe I have no gag reflex.
Do you know my answer?
And there. All done. Thank you for stopping by. We're going to pinch this one off. I am Larry Boop, and I'm the artist of poop.